Hello, this is Sarita, and I'm here to help you understand the truth about who you are. So firstly, welcome to 2022, everyone. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what comes this year. And I really feel like this year it's important to remind ourselves about how we are creators and our potential to activate our creational energy. And if you've been on my channel for a long time, you'll see that over the last 2 years, I've really been taking quite a deep dive into shadow work. And so that's where we go into aspects of ourselves that are painful or traumatic, that are difficult and challenging to look at. And we see where within ourselves we're holding these energies and these frequencies, emotions, ideas, all of those things. And we set to transmute them through various modalities, and mostly through the modality of presence and love. And it's really important to do this shadow work because obviously we are creators, and everything that we are expressing and everything we are seeing in the mirror of our external reality is a reflection of how we think and feel on the inside. We are creator consciousness in expression. We are miniature gods, if you like, and we are creating this reality. And as over the last 2 years, we've been going through this really quite shocking experience of the veil lifting on the shadow and the darkness of our culture, our societies, the systems that run the show of our lives, and the way that we think and feel and behave from our conditions, and, if you like, a form of mind control that we have permissioned. It's been really important to do this shadow work and to accept responsibility and to acknowledge our part in the whole, bearing in mind that although we are individuated expressions of source consciousness, or that's the aim, is to become an individuated expression, we are also one. We all come from source consciousness. And even more kind of importantly for us, if you like, in terms of our 3D reality, we're a collective species and we're empathic beings. And so it's been a real deep dive over the last few years doing that work, and it's so important. But I also think that with all the challenges and obstacles and traumas and veil lifting shadow that we've been facing, it is wise to remember that while we're doing all that clearing, we also need to step forward into our creational resources and power, and understanding that it's up to us to manifest a new world, one that is based in authenticity, one that's based in truth, one that's based in love, and a collective desire to serve the whole in a truly valued way, not a sacrificial way, which is how we've been taught is the way that we're supposed to do it, and which is obviously a mind control program. So I really think that 2022 is a year where those of us who are awake and aware and have done, you know, a lot of shadow work, which, you know, is never ending. It's not like it just suddenly finishes and we've done our shadow work. It's an onward process. But those of us who have done a certain amount of shadow work, we need to step up and into this creational energy, I feel now, because I feel that we need to start really mastering ourselves as multidimensional beings, start really mastering our bodies, our biofields, the quantum entanglement, and how we affect that on all levels, and to start creating something new in ways that we've never done before. And whilst that can be very scary and very daunting and requires a lot of energy, I feel that it is absolutely imperative at this stage. And I feel like those of us who've been awake for a while, now we need to step into this creational energy, this kind of empowered mastering of the self technology, whilst those who are just beginning to wake up to the narrative and see the shadow begin to start going through their collective shadow process. So I do believe that many of us are the way showers. We are the bearers of light. You know, we walk down those passages, you know, quaking, but in our courage, lighting up the path, you know, lighting up the darkness, so that it's a little bit more easy for those who come after us. And it is hard being a way shower. It is hard being one of the first voices to stand up in your truth and authenticity and say, no, this will not do. And we need to find a new way and to step forward into that way. It's very hard, but it's also very encouraging, and it's a very powerful process, and it can be incredibly rewarding to stand up in your truth. And so that's what my channel is going to be focusing on for this next year. I'm not going to be doing the love and light thing where we just like think loving light thoughts and forget about all of the, you know, the horror that is revealing itself. No, I'm not doing that. But I am going to spend more and more of my, if you like, meditation time, my practices, stepping into creation. Because by now, all of you who are on this channel really do understand that you're manifestors. You've all been there, set your intention, and then seen immediate synchronicities and your reality changing around you. And I think it's very easy with the challenges that have gone on in the last 2 years to kind of fall down that rabbit hole and never find your way out again, basically, because the rabbit hole, as we all know, is deep, it's dark, and it's like there's a whole warren under there of interconnected rabbit holes. And every time we feel like we begin to understand something that's been going on, it seems to get more complicated, and if you like, more dark in a way. So, and it's tiring, you know, and I feel like I personally feel like I've gone through such huge processes in the last 2 years, and I've done a lot of those processes with many of you now. If you've been on my courses, and particularly if you've done Tribal 1 last year, we did 6 months of daily deep diving, you know, in groups, sometimes big groups of people, and the energies were super intense, and there was a lot of shift and movement, and it's exhausting. You know, I got to the end of last year and I was absolutely shattered, and I did what we all need to always be aware of. I gave my body rest, gave my body some fun over Christmas and New Year. And now I'm on a kind of reboot, and I really, as I sat, you know, contemplating the year I'd gone through and what I need to do to move forward, I've realized that I need to step into a lighter energy whilst maintaining my awareness of what is playing out. And I really have an overwhelming desire now to start creating new things. I've got some new projects in the pipeline with some of you from Tribal 1, and I've got some exciting things coming up. And I'm doing mentoring, and I'm talking to people, and their lives are changing, and their old ways of being or working are falling apart. And I'm saying to them, create something completely new and unexpected, absolutely rooted in the joy of what you love to do, and see what happens, and try something that's never been done before. And so many of you are, you know, you're beyond worrying about failure or what anybody else thinks anymore now. You know, you've been through all of that. That's what the last 2 years has really intensely taught a lot of us, to stand in our truth no matter what anybody thinks about us, and to try a new way of being. And so that's what I'm encouraging for this year, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on with this channel, and lighter frequencies, to bring some lighter frequencies into my body using a lot of the techniques that I've developed and created over the last, I don't know how many years I've had this channel, 3 or 4 years now, maybe. I just don't even know what's going on anymore. But I've created some really interesting techniques, and then I'm going to share with you more, where you literally tune your biofield to become higher, lighter, and faster, and create from that. And I think for me, that really is the calling now, moving forward. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm longing to take many of you with me. And a lot of that is just becoming self-aware to the frequencies around you and how you master and navigate those, and how easy it is to do this. The more I step into this work, the more simple it's becoming, the quicker it's becoming. What used to take, you know, a couple of hours to heal in a session now takes like 5 minutes. You know, we're speeding up. Things are speeding up. Time's doing some extraordinary, strange things. And I feel like time itself as a concept that we've been attached to is kind of collapsing in on itself, and it's doing some strange and wonderful things, and we've got the opportunity to take advantage of that. And so some of the work I'm going to be doing on the channel over the next year is going back to basics, you know, working with things like, which is what I'm going to share with you today in meditation, working with things like the lemniscatic form, that infinity symbol, and going back to basics and seeing how mastered you've become with them, how you have the capability to turn off and on different frequencies within your bodies, you know, your cells, your biofields, and working with those in, if you like, more profound ways through the simplicity of your masterfulness, that the masterfulness that you've attained and achieved at this stage in the game. Bearing in mind it's all a big game. So going back to basics and really honing in on our extrasensory perception, working with our sixth sense, working with our seventh sense, which is the void. I'm going to be doing a lot of that, going back to basics, really feeling what's going on, working with our biofields, working with the quantum portals of our cells, the very cells of our body, our portals, you know, working with things like that, and then mastering some new techniques that I'm going to share with you this year, and beginning to step up and into our power as manifestors and begin to create this new world, which we desire, which we deserve, and which we're perfectly capable of creating en masse. So that's the trajectory for my channel over the next year. And what I wanted to share with you today is a really simple meditation technique, which is based on my version of Tibetan Heart, which I know so many of you love. And basically what we're going to do in today's technique is we're going to do Tibetan Heart meditation technique in the first 4 energy centers of our body. And remembering that I work in the Western tradition, although if you feel like working in the Eastern tradition, absolutely do that, because the first 4 centers are in similar places within your body. And besides which, it's your process, so obviously work with whatever you want to. But if you are working in the Eastern chakra tradition, I would suggest that you go back to my channel and delete any false chakra overlays that have been created by the inverted matrix before you do this meditation. That was a very powerful session that I had with Tribal One, and I've shared it on the channel so that all of you can take advantage of that. So basically, we're going to work with the first 4 energy centers in the body. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go into the first energy center, really simple technique, feel the energy center, and then using our breath, our will, and our imagination, we are going to breathe in a lemniscatic form. So that's the infinity, the figure of 8, which I think is going to bring a lot of balance to us in this meditation. And we're going to breathe in a figure of 8. So you're literally imagining that your breath is flowing in a figure of 8 through that energy center. So it's doing 1 loop in front of you, 1 loop behind you, and the knot of the 8 is in the middle of the energy center. So So you're visualizing that breath flowing through the energy center. And then once you've got that rhythm going, you're doing long, slow, easy breaths through that energy center. And I'm going to ask you to call upon the frequency of vitality. Okay. And when I say this, what I'm asking you to do is feel rising up in the vessel, remembering this is a divine vessel, the vessel of your body, a felt sense of a physical, if you like, a tangible sensation of vitality without attachment to anything around you that makes you feel vital. So you're not looking, for example, to have that, imagine that you're running and you feel suddenly really vital. You're trying to get that felt sense of vitality without attachment to anything else. And to me, vitality feels like easily flowing energy, and it has a kind of freshness and brightness about it. So you're asking that felt sense to rise up in this body vessel, and then you're going to attach that sensation, which is a frequency, to the breath. And now you're going to breathe vitality through your first energy center in a figure of 8. So you're literally using your imagination, which we now know is a very potent creational tool. We've just been indoctrinated to believe that the imagination is wishy-washy and doesn't do anything. You're using your breath, your will, your imagination as potent tools for you to breathe vitality through your first energy center. And then when you've done that for a few minutes, you're going to pause and feel, without any judgment, witnessing yourself within that center, the effects that that has created. Then you're going to raise your awareness to the second energy center, and again begin to breathe in a lemniscatic form through that energy center. And then you're going to call upon the felt sense of joy. Okay. And what you're going to realize is that it has a different sensation, a different sense of affecting the body vessel, this frequency of joy, than vitality does. They're similar, but they're slightly different. And this is honing in your skills as a manifesting creator. Your extrasensory perception is what you're honing in here. You're feeling the differences as if you were feeling two different textures, you know, and you're so used to feeling things with your fingertips that they're incredibly sensitive. And what I'm asking you to do is hone in your sensitivity skills. So you're calling up the feeling of joy, and then you're going to breathe that through that energy center, and then pause and feel the difference in that. And then we're going to rise to the third energy center. And then we're going to use the frequency of peace, again, calling it up as a felt sense, feeling the difference in the sensation, using it to change the frequency within that energy center. Remembering that frequency is, if you like, instructing and commanding a new set of information to come into your energy center. And your energy centers are little brains. They in turn instruct the matter of your being, the quantum portals of your cells, the very entangled structure of your atomic, you know, particles and quantum particles and things like that. So the energy centers, through your command as the master of your own being, are instructing your body and your being to behave in different ways. Then we're going to move to the heart center in the middle of your chest, and we're going to call upon the frequency of gratitude, which many of you are familiar with. This is the tradition. Can't speak. This is the traditional Tibetan heart meditation mantra, gratitude. We're going to breathe gratitude through that energy center, and then I'm going to get you to feel those 4 frequencies working within your body vessel and how they're affecting the body vessel, and then how through that you are emitting a new signal out into your reality and into your day. And I have to tell you, I woke up this morning because of various personal circumstances, you know, shit going on in the world, feeling quite low this morning, and had my meditation class, did this meditation, and immediately things in my reality began to synchronistically align to match peace, joy, vitality, and gratitude. And my whole day changed in, you know, 25 minutes. And this is the thing. We have such an extraordinary capacity to change. And obviously, you've got to love yourself enough that when you're feeling low or a bit despondent or things aren't going your way or whatever, to sit yourself down and make yourself do the practice anyway. And that is a trick that I've learned. You know, I've just learned that if I bother with myself, if I love myself enough, I can actually so quickly, almost instantaneously, change my entire day. And it's so worth doing it. It's so worth having the practice of self-love, even when things are tricky or difficult or challenging, or, you know, you're not really loving yourself that much, or everything is just seems to be going wrong, to just stop, sit down, change your frequency. You are such an extraordinary being. You are a master. And remember what I said somewhere towards the beginning of this, time is doing weird stuff. So we are losing this manifestation time lag, and we have this capacity to just instantaneously change our day. It's so fast, and that can be for good or for ill. You know, it's your choice, and there's no judgment around that. But on a personal level, I just prefer feeling good. It's not always easy. It requires self-discipline, but it's worth it for me, and I would hope it's worth it for you. So this is a really simple meditation. I put some beautiful music to it to get you in the mood, and I really hope you enjoy it. And it's back to basics. And I just want to give you a quick reminder about why we do Tibetan heart meditation and how it's lasted for thousands of years. Now, how it came out from Tibet, and we're still doing it now, even though I've tweaked it a bit because I've added the lemniscatic flow, as opposed to just breathing directly into the energy center. And I purely added that initially because it allowed my students to concentrate better. But what I'm seeing now is this lemniscate, this figure of 8, is an important symbol for us moving forward. It allows us, and I was discussing this with a really good friend of mine the other day, Liz, bless you, Liz. It really allows us to move through the extremes of polarity. And obviously we're living in this duality. It allows us to move through the extremes of polarity and come back, to keep coming back to this central point, this liminal space of betwixt and between, which is a 0 point portal, if you like. And as we move through these extremes of polarity, we begin to accept it all within us, and it brings balance to the whole kit and caboodle of this show that we call life, basically. And we don't get stuck in one polarity or another. We begin to embrace the whole. And in a way, you could say this is a simplified version of shadow work. We accept one end of the spectrum of polarity, which is the shadow, knowing that we are the other end too, and that they're all within us. And so the more I work with this, with a lemniscatic form, the more extraordinary I find it. You know, it really is just an extraordinary geometric tool. And obviously breath is life. Breath is our connection to source consciousness. It's the connection to the within and the without. We're working with our will, our focused intention. That's what defines us as manifesting creators, because we can focus our will. And it also works with imagination, which I've already mentioned is the key. It's the key. Anything we can dream up, we can create, you know, in this manifested, materialized form. So that's why Tibetan heart is so extraordinary. And let's use Tibetan heart in all of our energy centers, because our energy centers are, if you like, the heart of the matter. They are the heart of our material form, and they are what assist us in making matter manifest in a way that aligns with our desires. So having said all that, I hope you enjoyed the meditation. I hope it makes your day beautiful like it did with mine, and sending you all love for the coming year ahead. And without further ado, let's sit up for this meditation if you can. Obviously, if you're constrained by injury, then please do lie down and make yourself comfortable. And then I'm going to ask you to take a breath in, a breath out, and close your eyes. and beginning to follow your breath in the darkness. And feel how the darkness all around you allows you to turn your attention inwards. Dropping you into the vessel of your own body. Bringing you into presence in this moment. Breath flows in and breath flows out. We are now going to set our intention to increase our frequencies through vitality, joy, peace, and gratitude through the first 4 energy centers. So I'm going to invite you now to drop your awareness into your first energy center at the perineum. And you are going to begin to breathe through this energy center in a lemniscatic form, the figure of 8 infinity symbol, so that you visualize the breath flowing through the first energy center, 1 loop in front and 1 loop behind, creating a rhythm of elongated breath, flowing through this energy center and visualizing this figure of 8. 1 loop in front, 1 loop behind, with the knot of the 8 in the center of this energy center. Slowing the breath down, using all of your attention and intention to create this infinity symbol. Finding a natural rhythm of breath and flow. And you are now going to allow the frequency of vitality to arise within you as a felt sense. So feeling the vitality rising up within you. And as it arises, you are going to attach the sensation of vitality, this life force frequency, to the breath and breathe it through your first energy center in a lemniscatic flow for a few minutes in silence. feeling vitality flowing through this center, bringing new light, new information into the center and all around you. And see if you can turn the volume up on the vitality frequency, using all of your willpower, all of your breath, and all of your imagination. And pausing at the knot of the 8 in your first energy center, feel how this center has responded to this frequency, to your breath, to your intention. And you are now going to bring your awareness to your second energy center at your lower abdomen. And beginning to create a lemniscatic flow through this energy center, elongating your breath, finding a natural rhythm of the infinity symbol weaving through this center. One loop in front and one loop behind. And now you are going to call upon the frequency of joy to rise up within you, feeling joy arising as a felt sense. And as it does, you are going to attach this frequency to the breath and breathe it through this energy center in a lemniscatic flow for a few minutes. Breath, will, imagination flowing joy through your second energy center. And pausing at the knot of the 8 in the center of your second energy center. Feel how this center has responded to your breath, to the joy, to your attention and intention. And you are now going to elevate your awareness to the third center within you, above your navel. And begin to breathe breath, will, imagination in a lemniscatic form through this energy center. Finding a rhythm of attention. Creating flow within this center. And you are now going to allow the frequency of peace to rise up within your body vessel. Feeling it rising, arising as a felt sense within you. Peace. And you are now going to attach this frequency to the breath and breathe it through this center, one loop in front and one loop behind. Peace flowing through your body and through this energy center. And pausing at the knot of the 8, and feel how this energy center has responded to this new frequency, this new elevated information through your intention and your breath. And elevating your awareness now to the 4th center, your heart center in the middle of your chest, and beginning to breathe through this center with the geometry of infinity. 1 loop in front, 1 loop behind. And keeping the breath flowing within you, you are now going to call upon the frequency of gratitude to rise up within you. And as it arises, you are going to attach this sensation of gratitude to the breath and breathe it in a lemniscatic flow through your heart center. And pausing, feeling how this gratitude, how your breath, how the flow has affected change in this center, bringing new information to you. And feel now all of these frequencies within your body, within your being, expressing new information, distributing it throughout your cells, your atoms, throughout your cells, your atoms, your quantum particles, affecting change within you and expressing change all around you. Peace, vitality, gratitude, joy. The layers and building blocks of your body, forming, manifesting matter into your reality. And as you go about your day today, now and then remind yourself of your capacity to create felt sensation and frequencies within you at will, to express them, to become them, and to emit them out into the world. And then when you're ready, coming back and opening your eyes.